Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
As we do.
It's that time to talk about the Bachelorette on our show. V, I'm not gonna lie.
I need you to get a little bit more energy for our girl Michelle. For our girl Michelle.
You have to understand, it's just been a long day. You've been there the whole time.
I know.
And I just finished watching the show while setting up everything. It's been back to back.
Well, what a peek behind the curtain that is.
Well, I'm just telling you, I think I started the show by telling people I've been tired as this old man and I just can't wait to take a NyQuil. But B, before I take that NyQuil, why don't we talk about Michelle and her, fourth night on The Bachelorette? It was kind of a crazy little weird
interesting.
Episode.
Yeah, it was weird. It was, so this week we start with a one-on-one date with Martin. And he is just
he's the
most fuckboy looking guy you could see.
I said last week he looked like a reggaeton artist or something. He
looks like he's trying to look like a reggaeton artist
or something.
I don't even know. Like, he's got, the eyebrow slit. He's got the bleached hair. He's got the fade with the cut in stuff.
With the cut in stuff. Listen, I thought it was a fun date because they get to drive in cars. They're getting all scared. They're driving fast. But really,
they were drifting. It was like Tokyo Drift up in here. Drift.
I love
drift,
that.
Drift.
I love
drift.
That. But the big thing that came out of this date was really the fact that Michelle just needed to get to the bottom line with, he had, I guess, a good friendship with Jamie, who went home last week, the villain. So
yeah, and homie was trying to, hype Jamie up, and, Michelle was all so are you saying I made the wrong choice?
Yeah, these guys are really, pushing the limit.
He was stumbling because he's like, oh, shit, what do I say? I can't tell her that she's wrong.
Come on, dude. It's the Bachelorette.
What?
You literally have to say, no. I don't know who that guy is. I wasn't... I'm here for you.
Why is he spending his one-on-one date being all, campaigning for Jamie after he's gone?
That was kind of the beginning of what I feel like was the theme of the show until the end. It was really the boys club this episode, and they made a big effort to make sure us as the audience saw that. I guess they had a good date. He got the rose at the end of it?
He did.
How did he save himself?
I think he saved himself because then he talked about how he has a hard time opening up, but he's starting to feel like he can open up with her, and she's all all right. Good enough for me.
I'm making a prediction because just to fast forward to scenes from next week, she's our relationship is just not progressing. I feel like he's the one that it wouldn't. I feel like
it has to be him. I don't see the chemistry between them. I think he surprised me.
He's probably exciting, and she's attracted to him, obviously.
Right.
He's good looking enough. It's not.
Good looking enough to sit in a weird horses
I feel like they picked a good Fast and Furious date for him and stuff. It was working for him. But regardless, he gets the rose. They go on to the group date. Explain this group date.
This group date is this weird slumber party situation. All the men are given pajamas of some sort to wear. Chris S., who will become an issue later on, is given just a risky business
yep.
situation, which he is risky business. That's for goddamn sure. But the Bella twins come, so all these dudes, they have this whole setup, they're making teddy bears, they're, doing fun, self-care kind of stuff, they're all, and it's 12 dudes on this date, there's 12 of them, so it's a bunch of them, so it's definitely, a hard time.
So before this, though, they were just kind of all, messing around in their pajamas before the Bella twins showed up, and, Michelle's already kind of getting in her head, I
Yeah,
guess the
because like
guys
none of them were like really coming up to her that we see as viewers. Like none of them were really like pulling her
So
aside.
I
Or,
was trying to like really dissect what was going on here, and I feel like it was just like the activity this time allowed this weird space where the guys are obviously bonding. This is what happens now every season. Like as I get older, it just seems like the guys are just getting more comfortable in the house, becoming friends. They know they're all going to be friends afterwards. Who's going to be in the boys club of this season? And that's kind of what happens here. And
well, and I think it's hard not to when you put all like 12 of them. So like only 2 people from the house aren't on a date. So yeah, like, and they all like, it was funny because they were like kind of bop into them being all like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, cause I think they all like, because they're becoming better friends, they're trying not to step on each other's toes. So in turn, none of them were like actually like
also,
going.
could you imagine, like, it's probably very intimidating to have to even go up to Michelle, like the only girl, like, I'm just talking
Right,
about
that's yeah, because there's too many of them.
Class,
It's almost
like, you know, like I can talk to girls in real but like to do it in front of like 14 people and try to spit game and stuff. It's just knowing that all of America is gonna watch you just go up and then act stupid or say something dumb and like get rejected. I completely understand why these guys are just waiting for someone to make a move. Like, you know, they probably assume this one guy is gonna go do it, but that one guy is scared as hell too. Like that's all that I was like really thinking about this. But, you know, she was really going back to the fact of last episode where on the last date, she read that poem about how she was like always picked last. So this kind of became like what happened this date is her getting sad. And, it got down to the fact that they had to do like the teddy bear fight where they're beating each other with a teddy bear. And she sits between, you know, Taisha and, Caitlin, and they're like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm just trying not to cry. And
Perfect.
they made it through that date. I mean, I don't know who really won anything. The Bella Twins came out.
I don't really remember who won the different like teddy bear fights. I don't really think it matters. Like most of that segment was just like them like shit talking, like, you know,
I
like
felt bad
whatever.
for the Bella Twins because they were there to like have fun and make it a whole date, and she was just like, nah, I ain't feeling like more girls at this party right now. For the guys to look at. That's what I was like feeling like she was going through her mind. She was like, I'm glad they're here.
Well, especially like there's these 2 like, you know, white girls who are very like, you know, well known, stereotypically pretty, like, you know, a whole vibe. Like they're known for like their sex appeal. Like that's like how women in the WWE, you know, get a job. And she's like, first of all, I don't even have these dudes talking to me right now. And now they're going to like have to wrestle in front of the Bella Twins. Like, okay,
Right.
like cool.
So, anyways, they have like the little cocktail portion of the night, and Michelle just kind of like lays it out, which, you know, was a good move. Like, you got to tell them how you're feeling, because at this point everyone becomes pretty much simps for her. They're all like, damn, we should have like, you know.
Yeah, and they're all ups because, like, you know, they literally were all like, oh, I thought whoever was like, I thought I was just trying to like respect everybody.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, they didn't know
too
what they're
many of
doing.
them. You can't have these group dates with literally nearly everybody in the house because, yeah, it's like there's no and that's like why they do it, because there's no structure, there's no good way, like, and that's what causes that sort of situation. But, you know, she talks with everybody, and Olu, who is, you know, just a giant soft teddy bear in general, huge ripped dude, like totally destroyed in this like teddy bear challenge, but he gets super emotional with her because, you know, he's also black and he has sisters, and he's all like, I know exactly, like, I feel like awful that you feel this way and that you felt like, you know, we didn't actually take into mind your experiences, especially with us not talking to you and whatever, because like I know my sisters have been and continue to be in your shoes where like they feel like lesser because of like their skin tone and because like whatever, they're women and like they're made to feel like, you know, no one like likes them the same or like whatever. And he's like, I would never want you to feel that way, blah 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 blah. And like he got like super emotional and was crying with her, and like she was tearing up, and she's all like, this means a lot that you, especially as a black man, she says, like, especially as a black man, showing your emotion. And she's like, I have a hard time showing my emotion, for fear of coming off a certain way. And she's like, and you were so open with me. And so he ends up getting that group date rose, which I think was well deserved.
Sure. The next one-on-one date, this is one where I kind of fast forward through. I'm
for multiple reasons, but yeah.
Exactly. Well, for time reasons, and then I was watching only on double time, so I got to see the gist of it. And
I only have two
I'm not
notes
sitting
from
here
it because
trying to come to the Bachelorette to feel in the feels about my dad either. So, but that was kind of like the theme of this date was what.
She went with Rick. It was with Rick. They went on like a gondola. They went on a hike. They found a wishing box. And like there's wishes in it. So they read a couple off about like, I hope I find a love like my grandparents. And like Michelle's like, I feel like that about my parents. Like, I hope that's us. And then there's another one about like something with a dad. I don't even remember exactly what the wish said. But, it got Rick into his feels because his dad had passed away.
Yeah, by the time they got to dinner, he talked about how, like, he caught his dad, like, some texts of his dad cheating on his mom, and he told his mom, right. And, like, it was, like, Christmas or something like that, and his mom, like, was like, we gotta go, and they left, and then his dad just got really depressed and ended up dying one day, and he felt, like, responsible for everything. So, it's pretty deep and dark, and it got him a rose, so he stuck around.
And they had Andy Grammer do the little, dancing in front of a singer vibe for them, which honestly is a decently big, like, name to pull.
Yeah, I actually like that song, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me too. So,
Word.
I was like, when they were going into like, I've got one more thing. I'm like, what random country singer are they gonna have now? But
you would think
Andy
like
Grammer.
with like I don't know if she's a country fan or not, but like I really thought they'd switch it up, maybe some R&B or something like something.
Give me some R&B on this goddamn show.
Is that racist?
What? I don't think that's racist. I think
I just want to see R&B for any Bachelorette or Bachelor.
That's what I'm saying. R&B has great love songs. Like, why are we not like bringing some better
bring some
like
Boys
love
the Men
song?
up in there?
Right. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Like, we can't get The Weeknd or like Bruno Mars, but we can get like.
why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it would hurt their careers to be on The Bachelorette. Maybe it would. But anyway, so we get to the rose ceremony, and this is where we get a little weird. And if things weren't already weird for the show, but
it's been weird.
It's
but
like,
so I guess
we have guys literally stepping up to be villains now.
Well, so, like, the thread earlier in the show, like, after, like, date cards were being passed out because Nate, obviously wanted a one-on-one date card. Everybody wants a one-on-one. And he sort of said something being all like, because he was a little sad that he didn't get the one-on-one when Rick got it. And he's like, but whatever, like, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm not going to worry about it.
Right.
And so then Chris S. decides to take it upon himself to be all like, I'm going to make this a problem. And he also, I think, he, like, throws himself under the bus. So like they're at the beginning of the cocktail party before the rose ceremony, and shit still was like fresh from the whole like I don't feel seen situation from the group date, and homeboy decides to like pretty much throw everybody under the bus, being like, it's not good that we let Michelle feel that, like, Michelle, like, who's to make Michelle feel this way, like, blah blah blah. Like, I'm like, dude, you didn't come up to her, really? Like, where were you? Like, tell me about it. And so then when he has his time with her, like, his little talking time with her, he decides to have Nate's name in his mouth and is all like, yeah, some people out here, Nate, think they have it in the bag. And so, I just feel like you should know that. And
yeah, he just seemed really weird. He was just hating on Nate. This is like happens all the time. Like, people just crack because they see someone
because they see Nate as a front runner.
Yeah.
Nate is a front runner. And like, she even, when she talks with Nate and brings up how like, Chris said that, and she's like, I give you a pass because we have been so good, but I was disappointed that you didn't like, make more of an effort, because I know you to go out of your way to make that effort more often than not. But she's like, because you've had such a good track record, you're fine, whatever. Like, she was like pretty much like gave him a little like nick on the wrist kind of situation. Like, Pat, like, do better next time. And like,
well, essentially, I mean, really, the last of it, Nate has and Chris S like come to like he pulls him aside and they have a conversation, and it like Chris S is like being a little ridiculous like in his one-on-ones and stuff too.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, Nate was literally like just trying to ask him questions, being like, yo, dude, like what's the deal? Like, what's going on? And of course, like, Nate is like a foot taller than Chris S. Like, Nate is a tall dude. Chris S is not tall. And so I could see how like having a big person can make you feel some kind of way, but then like Chris S is like kind of coming at him, being all like, "Oh, you're gonna touch me, man? Like, what are you gonna do about it?" And
like, you trying to get violent or hit me? And he's like, "No."
What? And Nate's like, "Just answer my goddamn question." Like, I'm asking a question.
So essentially, I mean, it kind of looked like Chris S was going to go home, but it looked like I
wanted him to go home.
It looked like the producers saved him this time.
They did, yeah. He got one of like the last roses. He got saved because I guess they need to create that sort of drama. It's like the rotating villains right now, right. And I think I think they needed I honestly feel like this entire episode they're trying so hard to sell Clayton to us. They would like do Clayton as like little aside interviews. They started to bring Clayton into the whole like disliking Chris S situation, and I feel like this past episode,
they've been doing it the whole time.
I know, but I feel like this week's episode especially was really like, look, here's Clayton. Let's sell him.
Clayton's like the first person that talks on the show every week.
Adding nothing to the conversation. Yeah. Like adding nothing to the conversation. I think next week they're gonna show him like kind of going at Chris for being a little snake, because the preview like is all like Chris S, that stands for snake. He's a snake, and I feel like there's going to be more of a like, let's sell Clayton to the audience again with next week. So I feel like that's almost some of obviously how they're editing this now to like help us, obviously they didn't pick Chris S for that because they didn't know
I don't hate Clayton. I just don't think there's much interesting about him. He's kind of like a Colton.
I've never seen a reason to like him. I mean, like, I don't hate him either. I like him because he went to Mizzou and he is a football player from Mizzou, but besides that, like, yeah, he's not an interesting lead. I don't know what that's going to look like because I haven't found, like, his spark as a personality yet. Like, I think he's
why do I only want to see pretty people fall in love? I want to see all people fall in love. I mean, they can be pretty, but do they have to always look the same? I don't know. Future Bachelor. Well, is there anything else in Bachelor? The
basis of our show.
Yeah. Is there anything else in Bachelor Nation going on?
So there was the New York marathon this past week, and a lot of Bachelor Nation folks ran in it. So Tayshia and Zach, her fiance, they ran together. She had been training. She had a bunch of like sponsorships with like Hoka and whatever. I think she ran a pretty good run. Like, she finished in 4 hours and 40 minutes. Matt James and Tyler Cameron ran together. Tyler was like around 5 hours, 2 minutes. Matt was like around the same. I think they're like, milliseconds apart. Dr. Joe Park killed it. He hit it out of the park. He did it in 3 hours and 21 minutes.
Wow.
Just running for that long seems awful. Peter Weber, I think, was the slowest out of everybody.
Of course,
he was. He's used to like flying things, not actually using his own feet.
Right.
So 5 hours, 16 minutes, and then Dustin from Hannah Brown's season, he did it in 4 hours and 21 minutes. Nice. So congrats to all of them.
Cool.
Doing a marathon is not really in the goals for me, but if it's in the goals for you, listeners, go and do it and train the right way. I mean, my mom's done it multiple times, and
yeah, Peter Weber can do it. So can you. So, Bachelor news this week. It's been fun. We'll have to catch you back with week 5.
Future Bachelor Podcast.